Tom, you've got great relationships over at LSU football. Know that you talk to a lot of people over there throughout the season and throughout the off season. So you've been tipped off that LSU had an offense in town even way back in spring. How's it been trying to sell it to the public out there now that people have finally seen it and starting to believe?
Well, listen, I don't blame people for not believing.
Sure.
I mean, we've gone down this road before. I thought the Matt Canada experiment started off on a positive note. I mean, he was selling what he was doing really hard, and there were times where it looked good. But I think all the credit belongs to Ed Orgeron for having the wherewithal and the guts to be versatile enough to continue to evolve as a coach. I mean, listen, everybody knows that Saban is the king, and they look at how Nick Saban runs his program, and they think of an old school, tough-minded coach, and he is in many ways. But the real secret to his recent success is his willingness to evolve from an offensive standpoint. When they brought Lane Kiffin in, they evolved in two ways. He realized he needed Lane, and then once Lane got there, he realized that what he was doing at USC wasn't going to work anymore. So then he sold Nick on the idea of we've got to do what Oregon is doing. And Alabama evolved. And now we see the fruits of that as they continue to evolve. So I think that a lot of times we think about head coaches and who they are and their identity. And many times if you don't change your identity, then you go by the wayside. So Ed Orgeron identifying this as a need and solving it, I think, is something that he deserves a lot of credit for.
Do you get an idea that this Joe Brady, Steve Ensminger is as good as it's advertised to be? I mean, at this point of these two guys working, it seems flawless. Behind the scenes, what are you hearing on the working relationship between those two on that side of the ball?
I mean, it seems flawless to me. I mean, I'm looking forward to getting in the building this afternoon and then getting in the meeting with Ensminger tomorrow. I mean, everything I've read and everything I know so far is he has said, listen, I appreciate the help. And any great moment in business or in sports or in life or in relationships, anything that works well or that is elite is a collaboration. I mean, very few people can do everything on their own. So this seems like the perfect collaboration. And who knows how long Brady's there? You know, who knows how long it is before he gets an opportunity to run his own offense or run his own program.
Tom. We're trying to slow this train down, Tom.
I know. For what it is now, for his age and for his experience, I mean, it's the perfect step for him, too. It's perfect.
Yeah. Tom Hart joining us here, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, ESPN New Orleans, down there on 100.3 and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria. He's on Twitter at Tom_Hart. What have you made overall of the conference up to this point? Obviously, Alabama, LSU, Georgia in the top five. But after that, what do you make of overall play in the SEC?
Well, it was a disappointing first weekend. There's no doubt about it. I think there's still the teams outside the elite still have a lot to prove. Missouri's stumble up on the Front Range in Laramie was unfortunate because I think they could still be a team that wins a lot of games. They showed that last week against West Virginia. Terry Wilson going down for Kentucky is very unfortunate for them. They may be able to withstand that, but we certainly don't know. So that game this weekend with Florida is going to be a big one. You know, we don't know who's going to be able to challenge Georgia in the East. I don't know if we'll get a lot of answers this weekend, but we'll get a better idea of who between Kentucky and Florida could get in their way on a specific game day Saturday. But then on the flip side, I really like what we've seen so far from Mississippi State. If Tommy Stevens healthy, could be on the verge of being, the quarterback that nobody expected this from, and that everybody comes around to notice, especially running that offense.
It made sense in Baton Rouge for Glenn Dorsey, Patrick Peterson, and Tyrann Mathieu to be Heisman candidates. People don't know how to react when their quarterback around here is a Heisman candidate. Can they maintain this? Do you think that he's a true contender?
Well, sure. I mean, and if you probably have mentioned it already this morning, but from what I saw at Westgate, Joe Burrow opened at 200 to 1.
200 to 1.
What's he up to?
5 to 1.
5 to 1. That's amazing. Listen, here's what Heisman candidates are, and I'm not taking anything away from Joe, but let's look at what they are. They are players that have big games early in the season in prime moments. that then can settle into a scenario where they put up big numbers until the next big test. And Joe fits all of those categories right now. Can he continue to be a Heisman candidate once you get into October, middle October, late October, after the schedule stiffens up a little bit? If they continue to win, yes. And the beauty of what he did against Texas is he doesn't have to put up 400 yards every night to continue to be a candidate.
Right.
He's already established that he can do it.
He's got the moment.
And now he's had the moment. And now the key for him is the team. The team. If the team continues to win, he has established himself as the star and the leader of that team on the offensive side of the ball, then he will absolutely be in every discussion going forward as long as they continue to win.
Tom Hart will be on the play-by-play Saturday night for LSU Northwestern. We were talking to Reese Davis. He's got maybe one of the best gigs in sports television. You got to be up there traveling around from conference city to conference city each week. What's one of the cool things you look forward to in Baton Rouge?
I'm going to go by Harper's Haberdashery.
Nice, Sammy.
Yes. Yeah, we're going to get all dandied up for the game.
Nice.
That's the number one thing I'm looking forward to. Probably swing over to Walk-Ons, have a burger and a beer. And listen, I don't mean to be corny, but what I really love about my job is sitting down and talking football.
Mm-hmm.
And this LSU staff is a great staff to do it with. Dave Aranda always has a different viewpoint and introduces us to ideas that we hadn't maybe considered before. Coach O is fantastic, and I want to know what's going on with this offense. And the beauty of what we do in our Friday meetings with coaches, and I've said this before, it's not just the X's and O's. We can come prepared with that. It's really learning either directly or indirectly who they trust within their program. And when you leave those meetings, you have a great idea of what they expect going forward. And then if LSU can meet those expectations.
Welcome back to South Louisiana, Tom. Good to have you back. Have a great call on Saturday night.